By the end of our time together, you will understand how to let go of perfectionism, how to stop procrastinating, how to finally free yourself from analysis paralysis, how to actually unlock the next version of you. Welcome back to the series, The Luxury of Discipline, where you learn how to romanticize routines, how to fall in love with structure, how to make devotion your lifestyle, and how to experience the luxury of discipline. The one hack that is going to set you free, the absolute key, is defining yourself as the learner. Building your self-esteem around your willingness to learn, not on the number of times you win. Building yourself on your willingness to be the learner, not on how many times you get it right. Building your self-esteem on your willingness to learn and not how many trophies you collect. Science has shown that if you build your identity around being someone who learns, who is willing to learn, you will increase the likelihood of success. Let me say that again. By defining yourself on being the learner, not the winner, the learner, you will increase the likelihood you're going to succeed, which we can agree is the ultimate goal that you're after anyway. So when you value yourself on being the learner and not on how many times you win, when you value yourself on your courage to confront your imperfections, to confront your inadequacies, to confront your lack of skill, to be honest with yourself. Because you're the learner, you're never ever at a loss. You're always going to feel good about yourself, which increases your likelihood of success. You're always going to stick to momentum. You're going to stop procrastinating. You're not going to experience analysis paralysis because you know that you win by starting. You know that starting beats knowing everything first. The learner knows to start learning, you just start, you just dive in, you just read page 1, you just ask one question, and you build the momentum one step at a time. I want to give you 5 phrases, 5 tactical things you will implement this week. Every time you think of failure, I want you to say failure equals feedback. Every time you think you make a mistake or feel like you made a mistake or you did make a mistake, tell yourself mistakes are maps to mastery. Every time you feel like you made an error, you're upset with yourself, tell yourself errors equal education. When you feel like you've lost, tell yourself losses equal lessons. And when you are faced with an obstacle that feels insurmountable, tell yourself obstacles equal opportunity. Let me say those 5 things again. Failure equals feedback. Mistakes equal maps to mastery. Errors equal education. Losses equal lessons. Obstacles equal opportunities. And rewatch that as many times as you need and just pick one. Pick one to take with you. That's all I ask. Just one of them. And when you hear yourself saying the word failure, mistakes, error, loss, obstacle, reprogram your mind to say the alternative word, because that is what the learner would do. And if your ultimate goal is to succeed, you will free yourself by defining yourself as a learner. My personal example of this is my previous self was very tied to achievement. I was the straight A student. I had many academic accolades behind me. And if I got a B, I felt like I failed. I felt like I was a loser. I sucked. I let myself down until I had a very beautiful lesson from being unemployed that my identity was so tightly held to my sense of achievement, to being a winner, to getting it right, to being perfect. And I had to unlearn that definition of my identity, that definition of self, and that candle that I held myself to, because I had to learn that by saying I am willing to be embarrassed, I am willing to get it wrong, I am willing to look foolish, I'm willing to feel stupid, whether it be in the gym, doing an exercise wrong, whether that be asking a question at work and it coming across silly, whether that be standing up in front of the room and being honest about what I don't know, asking for help. The learner will just do those things because that's the definition you hold yourself to. That is a sense of curiosity and hunger for life. And it will set you free because it teaches your ego that what you value yourself on is your willingness to try. Your willingness to try, fall down, and get right back up because you are a lifelong learner. And that is empowering. That will set you free because while everyone else is busy holding themselves to whether they got it wrong or right and beating themselves up because of it, you're on to the next thing. You're going. You have not lost momentum. You're just continuously falling forward, stepping forward, one step at a time. So let's rewind. Here's what we learned. We learned that if we want to stop procrastinating, if we want to stop being a perfectionist, let go of our perfectionist tendencies, if we want to free ourselves from analysis paralysis and finally feel that we are taking action in our life towards the life that we want to build, we are finally unlocking the next version on ourselves, starts step by step. Perfectionism is not what we're asking of ourselves. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to show up. You just need to show up one step at a time because you are the learner. You are willing to learn, and the only way you learn is by trying, by doing, by taking one single step. So that is how you're going to solve your problems of procrastination and perfectionism. You are going to define your self-esteem, your self-worth, your value on being the learner and your willingness to learn. And that concludes episode 2 of The Luxury of Discipline. See you in the next one.